Good evening. I hope you've had a fantastic week. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us. The show is This Is the Day. My name is Medrin Nyambura. And being a Friday, the radio crew knows we talked about having a guys show today. So a lot of times masculinity has been defined by provision and how men carry themselves, all muscle, no emotion. But today we hear from the men. And I understand I'm in the presence of a politician, an auditor, and this one I have to read. Boy child empowerment champion. Who you? Martin Boro. That's the culprit.
That's me. That's me.
And we also have Lenny Kuria. He is an internal auditor and communication and PR practitioner. Abala, also known as the Twitter guy. Habari zenyu?
Mzuri sana.
Mnakaa tu vizuri, relax. I'm actually the one who's nervous. Karibuni. Karibuni. So I'll start with you, Mr. Abala.
Yes.
What's the worst stereotype you've had about men that you think, come on?
Well, there are so many.
Okay. Pick one.
I will pick one.
Yeah.
And there's something about men being dogs, commonly with ladies.
Okay.
And
we're going to go there. Okay.
And I think it's quite a bad connotation to really think that men are dogs. First of all, men are human beings. And let dogs be dogs, and men be men. Mostly it comes up from maybe individuals who have had a bad experience with maybe a certain individual, and then they try to generalize to put everybody into that cocoon. So I really find it quite annoying to say the least. Yes.
Okay, that's him saying, I am not a dog. Lenny, what's the worst stereotype you've heard about men?
Thank you very much. I think for me is the idea that a man should be in a certain way.
Okay.
I think in the popular culture it's called a man box.
Okay.
That you need to be in a certain way. You need to have finances. You need to be handsome. You need to be tall, dark. There is no such thing as that. I think you need to be authentic as a man.
Okay.
You need to be yourself. And I believe, like one of the best quotes I like saying is that you can never influence the world by being just like it. So
okay.
Be yourself.
Okay. What wameanza na mapunch? Chief, again, boy child empowerment champion.
Yes.
Worst stereotype ever?
I think what we've been selling a lot is about the meaning of masculinity.
Okay.
That to be a real man, you've got to be masculine. I think this has been mistaken from a long time ago when it was our forefathers and all that. And masculinity meant actually masculinity because men had to be muscular, they had to have running powers, chasing powers, because we were hunters and gatherers and we were tillers of farms and we were providers in that sense.
Okay.
And that stereotype has affected a lot of young men because they keep on thinking, I've got to be this, I've got to be that. But with all the changes that have happened, the change that we have seen is that masculinity can be differently. It could be mental, it could be emotional masculinity, it could be totally different. It's not what the stereotype is talking about. Yes.
And I said today is a man's show, and let me tell you, the men have come out. Yani, actually, you can't even wait for the 5th minute. You're saying, hi, Medrin, going by the societal standards, being a man is a chore. Seriously? And you're saying you have to own these or look like these or that. It's too superficial. When a woman, for instance, comes into your life, she brings these same worldly expectations and tries to fix you as if you're broken. And then you add 10 laughing emojis. A man is defined by values, identity, and purpose and calling.
Super.
And to the champion, he says, one more thing. That boy child tag has gone too far. Does the boy child ever grow up? Ask Martin. Answer that question.
I think when we talk about the boy child, it's pretty much like when we talked about the street boys. And over the years, those street boys become street men and all that.
Yes.
But when we talk about the boy child empowerment, is actually knowing that even the current men, the current fathers were once boy children. And maybe because of the changes that have happened, they've grown with the impact of boy children not sorted out.
Okay.
So there's still a bit of boy child-ish in them. But the real focus is on the actual boys who are growing up to the ages maybe of 15 thereabout. Those are the people we are impacting
There's
on
an
at the
age limit
moment.
to this thing.
This boy child thing, yes, because they become men after that.
Okay.
But because their
Yeah.
fathers haven't sorted themselves out, and even the children, we still need to focus on that boy child.
Okay.
But we still go through the men to sort out their boy children.
Okay.
Yes.
Lenny, many times a man is defined by how much you have in the bank. What has that been the effect on how men look at themselves and how women look at you guys?
I think having money, first of all, does not make you interesting. What you do with the money is what makes you interesting. Right?
All the
Like
queens have fallen.
What you do with the money is what makes you interesting. Right?
Okay.
How are you affecting the society? How are you affecting the society with the money that you have in your bank?
Okay.
It's not about just spending the money on, as we are told, we spend money on women so that we can look attractive or anything. I don't believe in that. That's another stereotype that we need to discuss in a whole other lengthy conversation.
Okay, as a
So I
family
believe-
man, you would know.
So I believe what you do to the society is what makes you a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abala, kazi kwako, masculinity and provision.
Well, I still believe that a man who provides for his family is regarded and should be regarded as a hero, because from creation, the main reason why men were created were to be heads, and so the fact that men are in that position of providing for their families should be applauded. It should be. We should be proud, and I'm proud of men who take care of their families, and yes.
Abala, do you have a family?
I don't have a family. I
Do you
don't
have
have
a
a family, but my father raised as well.
Okay.
And my father took very good care of all of us. We are 9 in the family,
Wow, la, la,
and
la, la.
my dad has ensured that all of us are well taken care of. All of us have gone to school well. So a man who takes responsibility
Yes.
in a family should be regarded with the highest standards
Wow.
in the
Kuria.
world.
You want to say something?
Can I
Yes.
contradict you?
Okay.
I don't think it's the man's job to provide. Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay. As much
Kisha wewe.
as much as people say it's the man's. I've heard of a saying that it's the man's job to provide because the last time a man fed a woman, a woman fed a man, we were all chased from the Garden of Eden. It is true. Yes.
Okay, that's funny.
But it is true. Yes.
Yes.
But don't you think it's a bit racist? Because it's discriminating against one gender from the other.
Okay.
I think
That's
it's
an interesting
well, I'm not
my
saying-
angle on that one is a bit different. I think it's very good, as Abala says, in terms of provision, and is a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
My only argument with that is over the years things have changed. And when men used to provide holistically, there were different roles for
That's
men
true.
and different roles for women.
That's true.
Those days, you provided, but the person who took care of the home and all that was then the woman, because that was their job.
Yeah.
But today you find that with all this empowerment of the woman and all that, which has been very successful, and I applaud them for it. And it started
We
a
are
long time
getting to
ago,
that.
and we're getting there.
Yeah.
Roles have been reversed, and the
Okay.
people who are stuck onto providing then get very frustrated if they cannot. Because what do? Because nowadays you grew up with her. You both became auditors, accountants, media managers, and luckily she gets a job with the UN and she's being paid more. Then what do? Then that's where men are getting into trouble.
Okay.
Because I'm not able to provide for my family. Then it becomes a problem. But having said that, there is also a reality. Providing for your family is not only the provision of bringing food on the
Exactly.
table.
Preach.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You can provide mental power. You can provide ideas. You can provide surround security. You can provide direction. You
Yeah.
can provide that fatherly thing of knowing if dad says it works.
Okay.
Even if she has a little bit more.
Okay. Let
Different.
me ask Abala.
Well, yes.
You can comment on that. It's
Well,
fine.
and from my comment, I was not saying that it is only the man that is supposed to primarily
Boy child jitete.
provide for the family. Because as you said, as you put it correctly, we've had a lot of women empowerment and equality debates that are around the world, and we also have women who earn more than their husbands.
Yep.
So it's all about complementing, but the primary role for the man should be seen as that.
Okay.
Of the provider.
Yes.
It becomes difficult. Yeah.
But I think,
He's just about to attack. He's looking
Yes.
at me now.
Yes.
Okay. Go on, son.
I think at some point we have to be realistic about the kind of people that we want to be with.
Yes.
Especially as men.
Okay.
You wouldn't just want somebody who is at the house.
Yes,
that's
just
true.
Tending house,
Wait, Kush, let me ask you. Sorry, Kuria. Sorry. And there are men who want that woman who stays at home and takes care of the home and takes care of the children, even in 2018.
Okay, contemporarily that is ideal.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
30% who want that, but I think more so because I remember, or I think, in the early ages,
Yeah.
the man used to provide
Yes.
for the home because first thing, there was a greater value for money.
Okay.
Money had worth. So a woman would sit in the house and tend house, cooking, nurturing the kids and everything,
Yeah.
and the man would provide. But right now, a woman cannot just sit in the house.
Yeah.
Well, I actually agree.
Life,
Yeah.
Unless you have a baller.
Absolutely.
Let's get this straight.
Yes.
How many ballers are out there? Ballers are this struggling middle class who have loans from.
Today I'm with the young men. I'm learning new terminologies.
So who's a baller? A baller is ballers. They put themselves as ballers. They go to they go to clubs and they dish out money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Big
they're
hotels,
rich
they're
people.
rich people in
Players.
court.
But they
Yeah.
have loans
Full of
from
loans.
here
Yes.
to Timbuktu.
Yeah.
So I don't think.
Yeah.
I think if a woman provides, or if she actually tells you that she wants to provide,
Yeah.
or she wants to be an equal partner in this, because in the long run, a family is it's like a corporation. You have to invest. Both of you have to invest to make it work.
I think we've got to get out of this thing of, as you're saying, you're right.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Times have changed.
Life is a competition from birth to the end, even if it is internal competition and external. Because you went to school with your friends, then you've moved out of the first house that you got after college, or if you didn't go to college, then you're moving up the ladder and all that. That competition is wonderful if you're complementing each other.
Okay.
If you're doing it alone, it's going to be very difficult to climb your own ambition ladder. So
Okay.
if she's bringing something to the table, it becomes better, because then you're paying the loans together, you're educating the kids together. There is no issue.
Okay.
The provision we're talking about is very different. Even when all those salaries are coming in, the little research and talking to people that we have done, women internally actually feel very good if there is a man to offer the direction, and only feel very frustrated if there is no man to offer the direction.
Exactly.
We are
By the
getting to
time
that.
the woman starts to offer direction, she's very frustrated because you're there. So they're not even worried about you not providing. The word provision came from the days there were goats and there were farms and all
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
and there were mice. And I went and looked after them. I will slaughter one at the end of the month. I will give them. There's nothing now.
Okay.
There's nothing. So it has to be your job. It has to be. But when you get back to the house with the two bowls, one yours and one hers, what do you do with it? Who gives the direction?
Okay. Just joining the discussion, I'm hanging out with three men, different ages, talking about what manhood means. And I'll give you the platform. You wanted to say something. He was talking in regards to provision and women earning more. You wanted to comment?
Yeah, I actually wanted to add only one thing, and it's a common quote.
Yes.
That a man who is employed can live with an unemployed woman for 30 years, and there is no problem in that family.
Okay.
But a woman who is employed cannot live with an unemployed man for 2 days without problems in that family. Food for thought.
Being the only woman.
Food for thought.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I think personally, for me, I don't see any problem with a woman earning more than me, more money than me.
Thanks.
Because if she's earning more money than me, first of all, I'm in this relationship, or I'm with her because of who she is. If she's earning less, if she doesn't have a job, if she's earning more, it's because of who she is.
Okay.
Then if I'm earning and she's earning more than me, it only means better vacations, better homes,
Wow.
better cars, better schools for our children. Wait.
All right.
It can even mean early retirement. You know,
If she's earning more.
Yeah. So I don't see what the problem is.
Okay.
What the problem is.
I see it
Well, a
very
positive
differently.
look.
I'm a bit of a mix from Abala's traditional feel.
Abala, how old are you? You sound like a 60-year-old.
You know.
Stuck in that
What I would like
I'm
to
of
say
good
is
age. I'm of good
the
age.
normal setting
Yeah.
is a man should provide.
Okay.
But I still stand by that. If it is possible, and a man is able to, in the right ways, make good income and make a good living for their family, and is at the head of the family, even earning a little bit more than the wife, is a very good scenario. I think what he said is true. So if for now, if a man is earning a little bit more and is ahead financially and all that,
Yeah.
things work.
Okay.
Things work. My point is, should it not be like that, then you need then to remanage yourself. You need to sort of retool yourself, retrain yourself, and know there is no problem. I can still hack it. I can still move on. But I think it's just because of, when men are suffering from their past and their beliefs, women are the same.
Okay.
Women have been put up on this setting of I'm a receiver. I'm a homemaker.
Okay.
I should be married to a man with more. So all of a sudden, when she finds herself in a situation where she has more, she almost doesn't know how to behave immediately.
I can believe that. Abala, let me just move on from that conversation. You could be here for 3 hours. You've had so many women say all men cheat.
Wow.
Unpack that statement.
Well, that's a very powerful statement. Well, not all men cheat. But the truth of the matter is most men cheat.
Boy.
Jesus Christ.
This is a Christian station. I fight for marriages every day. Yes.
It is good to keep the traditional marriage setting that we are accustomed to. But most men cheat in reality.
Okay.
But not 100%. I'm saying this because it is the reality. We can try to maneuver around this matter.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is most men do cheat.
Usiongee tena ukae tu kwa hiyo kona. Kuria, you are a family man. Hebu sema hii maneno.
I start off by laughing.
And relaxing.
Okay.
Breathe in.
I think that statement doesn't come from men.
Okay.
And it shouldn't come from you. I don't expect that from you. It comes from women. And I think it comes because of the experiences that they've had with their men before. So when they get into other relationships, they go with that mentality that all men cheat. But listen here, sis. If a man broke your heart, it only means that he broke his promise to you that he'd be committed to you. And It doesn't have to change the fact that you still are a woman. You can try it again. You can do it again.
Okay.
True. Yeah. So it shouldn't change you. It shouldn't change you as a woman. So
I must rebut this.
And I think
because
cheating.
Before Bala says,
cheating is a personal decision.
Exactly.
It is a personal decision. So
yes.
I think there are pretty decent men out there.
Abala
Well,
kaka hiyo kona.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Number one, I protest only one word. Most. When you say most, I would want to ask, show me that research paper. Show me those statistics.
Come out with
because
the numbers.
Most now goes back to percentages, numbers. Where was this done?
Okay.
Now, let's talk about cheating. Do people cheat? In fact, I would like to take that thing upside down on its head. Is it true that no women cheat in relationships?
Well, it's not true.
Is it true? In fact, or is it that men are bad cheats? They are caught.
They are caught most
and
of the time.
Women are never caught. We can discuss this thing endlessly. And my argument on this one is, as cool. I'm with this guy. I'm with him this particular time because
I'm not with
some
them.
Men do. Some women do.
Yeah.
Some people are bad. Some people. Is that like where you've got preachers? You can't say that church is bad because the pastor is bad. That's a pastor.
Yes.
That's not the church. That's not the religion.
Okay.
That's a man. I know men who cheat, and they're my friends.
I know,
Okay.
I know some who do too.
Men who are really very good family people. Can I say something?
Yes.
This August 21st, I'll be celebrating my 25th year in marriage.
Praise.
This year, yes, this year.
Congratulations.
21st August 1993.
Okay.
And
I
this is a man who
was
cheats.
being born then.
And this is a man who cheats, but has been able to keep a family going for 21 years. And before that, I knew her for 10 years.
Wow.
You know, honestly speaking, let's look at it afresh. So
Okay.
yes, one man cheats. Let's not generalize it to everybody else.
man.
You've got some wonderful young men who want to make families. When they hear these things coming up like this, they sort of think, oh, even if I get into family, I'll go and cheat. No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
It's bad to cheat, it's bad to cheat.
Okay.
A few people do, just like a few women cheat here and there.
Okay.
But their faces are oiled, they are straight, they are smiley, and guess what? You will never know.
Okay. And congratulations to Mrs.
Thank
as well.
you.
25 years is no joke. Unataka
I was
kusema
being born
Bala?
then.
You've been born there, and I've been on it.
In 1993, but
In
Wait,
1993.
what?
yes,
Okay. Sawa.
okay,
Just say your
I was
point.
1
It's
year,
okay.
1 year old. But what I wanted to say is this: men will always side with men.
Okay.
I'm trying to move away from the line this time round
And be your
Okay.
own man.
and be my own man and say
Yes.
that it is true men do cheat.
Okay.
What about
And
women?
I say,
what about
no,
women?
no, the question was about
No, no,
men.
but I'm just saying, but why we don't then
yeah,
talk
women
about women
cheat.
cheating as well?
I have some girlfriends who have more than 2 boyfriends.
They cheat.
Who are these
and I
people
know
who are your
them.
friends?
But
Yes.
So it's why is it news when men cheat and it's not news when women
because
cheat?
men are caught most of the time,
thank you.
and
They
men
are poor cheats. Yeah. They are poor cheats.
tend to pretend they don't cheat.
Can I tell you one
Like
thing?
now
Can
you're
I-
defending
can I
men.
tell- can I- No, I'm not
You-
defending
you-
men.
no.
Man. Can I tell you one thing?
Courier
But-
says,
and tell me whether it's
yes.
true or not.
Let me
Men
in
are
the
such,
middle.
are such conquerors.
Yes.
They have that mentality of winning all the time.
Yeah.
Men cheat, that they cheat sometimes.
Okay.
To be seen like they're
To be seen
together.
like they are winning.
You know, and you see him with a very beautiful girl and he says, yeah, that's... and there is nothing. It's just wishful. And
Which leads me to the question.
Very
The
wrong.
woman in your arm, does she define what kind of a man you are? Kuria.
The woman in my arms.
Yes.
I think that will be true because as men, our greatest source of intimacy is our women. You know, with women, they're very easily prone to opening up to their friends and family
Okay.
and their mothers. But when it comes to men, we don't like talking about our women to our friends.
Okay.
We might talk to, in the case of cheating men, they might talk about their side chicks and everything to other men. But when it comes to our let me say main
Our
chick,
Main, yes, the main.
you don't talk to other men about that. So they are a primary source of intimacy. That's what I would say.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. The reason why I asked that question is because Abala, you mentioned that first of all, don't say all men cheat. Again, don't say most men cheat.
No, not
Tutakwa
most,
sana.
yes.
But men are also defined by how many women they have, or what kind of a woman do you have, and that explains the title of trophy wife or girlfriend. Does that define manhood for you? Who you're with?
Well, that really doesn't define what a man should be. I think a man who is dedicated to one woman can earn more trophies from me than a man who wants to define themselves by how many women they have.
Okay.
Maybe it's a traditional mentality. Our forefathers, they are those who used to have. You are defined by how many wives you have, how many children you have,
Okay.
the herds of cattle. But to me, really, that doesn't count. My dad has 3 wives. My grandfather had 3 wives.
And Abala shall have 1 wife?
I'm not saying I'll have 3 wives. What I'm saying
You
is
don't know.
that really doesn't define me as Abala.
Okay.
That the more women I have, the more trophies I should have. I think being dedicated to one woman and staying there should earn me more trophies
Okay.
than believing that more women can bring more trophies to me.
Okay. Wait, let me give him a chance. Martin, do you agree?
Let me tell you, today's life is very different from, let's say, where I came from. And today's life is dangerous. The woman you're with, the young man, maybe even these ones are sitting next to me.
Yes.
The sophistication, the education, the beauty, the height, how she dresses and how she talks defines a lot how that man is and who that man is.
Okay.
And there's a lot of focus on the outside beauty today than the internal.
Exactly.
Because it's not only education, it's not only beauty. But today, you have people who are dating 2 months. And wedding preparations start.
Yeah.
You are dating, within 1 year, you've dated, you've known each other, you've gone to Peros, you've done mahari, and you've married, and you're sitting together as a man and wife. Now, to me, that one is very outward, sort of led. Where we came from, the woman defined you differently. But you looked at a much more different thing. So you'll find somebody, because we always say, mwanamke ni nguo. So she may not be very beautiful now, but I'll make her beautiful. But it used to explain, because even in school days, when we went for trips, you wanted to hook up with the most beautiful, with the star of that school.
Yeah.
You know,
And that explains my self-esteem issues.
Thank you. You want to hook up, and you compete.
Okay.
You compete, and you walk around and say, you've got to give Benno today.
I'll also be asking you why men don't talk about their issues to their women. All that. Let me tell you, today is my day to learn, take notes, and in the future tutakuwa na Mwakenya, how to deal with these good people. But if you're just joining us, we are talking about manhood, what defines it. Some of the stereotypes are thrown around and finding a solution. I have Abala, there's Kuria, and there's Martin. But now I wanted to ask, I'll start with you, Kuria. Men don't talk about their stuff. It really bothers me. I've watched so many videos to try and understand. I've read books, and the main word is they don't feel safe. Tutafanya nini muweze kuongea?
I think be a man. I really hate that phrase. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Be a man. Because men in general and as a whole are brought up to like hide their emotions, you know? Like you're being told, be a man, you should not cry. When you fall, you shouldn't cry. When you're beaten, you should not cry.
Yeah.
And I think that is the death of many of young guys that we have in the society, because I don't know how they're learning this thing. I think through osmosis or anything or something, that you have to you can hide your emotions, you can hide your feelings, and it will make you a better man, or it will make you it's called machismo.
Yes.
It'll make you a machismo. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
I think people need to open up more.
Yes, go ahead.
If you're gonna have better men in the society, and that's what we are striving at, then I think that people need to start having this conversation more on how we are going to bring up young guys who are able to open up to the society and to people and to their own friends as well.
Yes.
You know, just not going to clubs and drinking and
thank you,
or going out on lunches and catching up on weird stuff. Just go out there, talk to your friend about this. If you need of this, then tell your friend that you need this. Don't just sit there and wallow in your pity.
Okay.
And that's how we are losing. We have to change as men. Otherwise, we are writing ourselves off history.
Okay. I wanted to say, before we get to you, Martin, when you give us a clear example, you have someone in your life who went through that. You suspect, he was going through some things and he didn't talk about it. And that's a young man. You guys are boys. Mkipatana hivi majama, what do you talk about?
Well, I'm really not sure what we talk about because I think men have been conditioned, or we have been conditioned in a manner that we should be the people who provide solutions. That a man is the one who will always have the final say. So the moment you have personal problems, then you find it difficult to approach somebody to try and provide a solution which the society expects you to provide. Okay. So that could be a problem or could be the source of the problem, because what else how else can you explain this? We have been put in a certain mindset that a man, even from childhood, mwanaume ni kujikaza. Your mom pinches you and she says usilie, a man cannot cry. Yes. Unagonga mguu kwa kiti, your mom says mwanaume hawezi lia, nyamaza, na msichana anafaa kulia. So such things have made us grow up in such a manner that we are not open with our problems, and they end up eating us up.
Yeah.
People commit suicide because of some matters. You are there, you have problems, you can't share with your friends, you can't share with your family.
Yeah.
You end up drinking and even committing suicide. So
Okay.
it's a discussion that we should begin having. Try to train our boys from. Our mother should take up this and try to train our boys from childhood. You are just a normal kid. You are a normal
yourself.
child.
Feel pain.
Feel pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cry. I sometimes cry myself.
Be a child.
Okay.
When I feel like
Yeah.
crying, I go to my pillow. Of course, a man should not cry in the open. I don't
still have
advocate-
limitations.
Yes.
You still have limitation. I go to my pillow, I cry. I come out my door, I laugh. I'm relieved.
Okay.
So yeah.
Martin, how do you create safe spaces for men?
I'll tell you, it's a big issue. It's a big issue. There is a wonderful program that is held every one of these rites of passage, and is done by, and I'm not campaigning for them, but it's done by Marion Schools.
Okay.
And they invited me to go and talk to the boys. But they were even further, because they actually told me, talk about some of these things.
Okay.
What I liked in the documents that was prepared by Marion are breaking the myths
Okay.
that boys grow up with. And some of those myths are that one we're talking about. Men are men and are strong. Men are men and are not emotional. You know, then when you look a bit of study, actually we are cheating ourselves. Men have been emotional. And when I was talking to those boys, I was telling them, let's talk about, for instance, King David. How do you know King David in the Bible? And everybody knows King David was a conqueror. King David killed Goliath. King David killed thousands when Saul was killing tens. You know, but the same strong, masculine King David was the weakest. He was a musician. He used to play the harp. They used to say he's the only man who was going for the heart of God, for the love. You know, he was very emotional.
Yeah.
When they conquered the Ark of the Covenant back, I think, into Jerusalem,
Yes.
he was dancing and he was
Till
almost
his
naked.
clothes.
So
Yes.
who are we not to feel a bit emotional?
Okay.
Who are we not to feel a bit of emotional? Now, I would like to add on to what Abala said about the impact of this bottling up.
Okay.
Because we men don't talk. Now, we are teaching the boys to talk.
Yeah.
We're teaching the boys to feel pain. We're teaching the boys to have a shoulder, but then you have to have somebody's shoulder. You have to have, and not a mother necessarily. But what does it do when you bottle too much pressure? It will burst at one point.
Okay.
The statistics that we're getting, for instance, on what you're talking about suicide
Yeah.
in this country, year upon year, the suicide levels, the reported suicide levels by police to the police are going up. I'll just give you last year. Last year, total reported suicide in this country was about 420 something, call it 430. And out of that, only 90 something, even call it 100, was women. The rest were men in suicide.
Okay.
That tells you about 80% of people committing suicide in this country are men, because they are not able to handle these issues and they do not share. So even for the men out there who are listening, maybe to you, to us here, we want to tell them, you will have a lot of pressure. You'll lose a job today. You will lose your wife today. You'll lose a child today.
Yeah.
You'll lose friends. Finances will be very bad because you put all your money on Bitcoin and then it didn't work. I'm not saying it won't work. Don't lose hope.
Okay.
Tell people, explain to people, share with people. People have solutions. A friend of mine committed suicide because he couldn't pay school fees for his daughter. I have a school. I educate people on bursaries.
Okay.
Getting one extra bursary for my friend's daughter would have been the easiest thing to do. But did he tell me?
did say-
You didn't know.
Did
Yeah.
I know? No.
Okay. So
Men, let's
yeah.
talk more.
Okay. We're almost out of time, but I'll start with Abala. We have a new age of young women who have maybe sons. They don't have the father figures, either died, abandoned, divorced, all that jazz. What can those men who are in this young boys' life do to make sure the stereotypes you all went through are not replayed in their lives?
Well, it's a worrying trend, actually, that we have so many single mothers in our current generation.
I think we are talking the world.
I think. I don't know. I don't know where these men come from and disappear. I don't know where these men come from to impregnate, then disappear.
Do you want to get into that, Abala? Do we have the time?
No, if there's any out there, they are welcome to come.
Okay.
But I think men should take up responsibility. There's an initiative that was started by that Women Rep for Kiambu talked about.
Yes.
Mudhoni wa Mushomba.
Abala.
about
Marrying more.
not really
Help
marrying
the
more,
economy.
but people who have more
To share.
should share, should try to help.
And try and help the
But
economy.
you know
where-
try to
but
help
you know
the
where
economy.
Abala's coming
Wait,
from.
I
You know
don't- I
where
don't
he's
know
coming from.
Abala,
You know his background.
Abala, you are flawed by what you know as the norm. I need to tell you, you are flawed by what you saw as the norm.
Not what I know by the norm. I'm trying to bring out
The reality in the
reality
society.
of the matter in the society. That if people who are able come together and try to help, we will be solving some of these issues.
Okay.
And men should be responsible.
Are you trying to say the
please.
only help is marrying a second wife? Is that what you're saying?
Now you see, you misunderstood.
'Cause now
me.
you'll
I was not talking about marrying a second wife.
Okay.
Helping.
I'm talking about people in the society helping these women who are bringing up their children alone.
Okay.
Helping doesn't really mean marrying them.
Okay. Define your help.
Helping could be educating these children. Helping could be probably getting employment for these women
So
so that
why
they
is the
can
help
take care
coming only
of
from men? Why do they advise other women to help if they
even
are able?
women can help.
Okay.
But also men who can marry can marry. But
Abala,
I'm also
but
trying to say, I'm also trying to say that these men who impregnate these women, sometimes it's good to take responsibility of your children.
Okay.
Do not just go around
Impregnating.
bringing up offsprings whom you cannot take care of.
Okay.
If you impregnate a woman, are you ready to take responsibility? Sometimes the single mothers, the problem is not the men really. It could be a problem from the women's side.
Kuria,
So-
let me bring you in, Tafadhali, before I throw my pen at him. How can the men in the young boys' lives who do not have the father figures, what can the men around them do?
Okay. I think what I have to say to that is, I don't really think that, by that statement, you're writing off the women. Let me just start by that.
From the
Okay.
onset.
Who said single mothers can't do it by themselves?
What I
as
mean
as
is-
a child of a single mother.
As a child of a single mother, what I am trying to tell
Exactly.
you is you need men need to see another man. I agree, women can do it very well. But the problem we have is when masculinity is defined for you by women only. You need to see a
As
man.
me, personally, from my own personal experience, growing up, I really found it interesting that I didn't have to go back to my father and ask him, can I do this? Can I do that? I could find a solution on my own. I could decide that this is what I want to do.
Okay.
And I find a solution and make it happen. That is what brought me to where I am today.
Okay.
Then that is very fulfilling for me, you know? You really don't need a man's guidance. Women are, if you're talking about equality, then let's talk about equality.
Martin Nakwana,
That's
I'm coming to you. I'm coming to
Let's talk
you.
about equality.
Anybody
Yes.
with a knife?
Yes.
Let's talk about equality.
Yes.
In a general sense. Let's not talk about money, and let's talk about equality in a general form.
I
We don't
respect your opinion.
We don't need to write off single mothers.
I
We don't
respect
need-
your opinion. I disagree
Yeah.
with you. Martin, close it for us.
Number one, before I say what I want to say, I have a lot of respect for single mothers.
Yes.
And
Okay.
they do a great job.
Exactly.
The only problem is sometimes they do a job that is not their job.
That's what
Exactly.
I'm trying to say.
And what I want to say to this young man, there is nobody who cannot bring up a child.
That's true.
And even when you're brought up by your mother alone and you don't have to refer to any male figure, it's education. Is a way you may choose to go to a school to get an education or may choose to be a private candidate and read at home. The only difference, and you may get an A and
Yeah.
you get an A in school, but my experiences of life, the teachers I will have met, the friends I will have met, the walking to school, the being beaten by others, the climbing of the buses, those are the experiences that you get when you have that reference of the father.
Yes.
Okay.
But having said that, I think the ball is in the single mother's court.
Okay.
Because a lot of them are very protective.
Of the
Are
children.
very protective of the children. And they don't want to let anybody in because letting other people in like men is a sense of weakness.
Okay.
I want to show the world I'm a single mother, yes, but I can do it. Now, it's not about not being able to do it. There are things that you've been blessed with by God. You are made as a woman.
Yeah.
You can only impart some of those things. There are others that a man, whoever it is,
Yes.
must. And in finishing, there are men around.
Okay.
There are uncles,
They are
there are
good men.
brothers, there are friends, there are workmates, there are studio mates, there are friends like this young man. If you're a single mother out there and you have a child, look for a good friend you would want your son to sort of emulate
Yes.
and introduce them. Even in churches, you've got people who are godfathers. Follow them through. But the only problem with the single mother sometimes, I had a student and I asked to see the godfather, and I was shown now female godfather, godparent. So there we are not winning.
Okay.
So in that sense, then, but it's very important for a young man to grow up with a figure
father
of
figure.
a father in front of him. It
Okay.
helps, makes him a lot better.
Okay, I wish you had 3 hours.
I grew up well, though.
I wish you had 3 hours.
Grown up well.
It turned out very well. And,
Gentlemen,
it's good.
thank you so
It's
much.
good.
I appreciated your time. That's Martin Boro. You have Lenny Korea and Kinyo Abala. Asanteni sana. This could go on for 3 hours, but I hope the information you've shared just gives a little bit clarity. Again, single mothers can do it by themselves, but it's good if you have
they're
a male
amazing.
Yes.
figure.
Yeah,
It just helps. Thank you so much for watching the show. Have a fantastic weekend.